What if I told you what you think is love is actually anima possession? I'm referring to men, okay? Men who feel like they're in love, falling in love, or in infatuation, or let's say falling 99% of the time. Okay, I'm throwing a random number. I actually don't know the percentage, but let's say a majority of the time it's what we call anima possession and Jungian psychology. Okay, what is the anima? The anima, there's the anima and there's the animus. So anima, like think anime but with an A instead of an E, and animus, A-N-I-M-U-S. The anima is a female part of our psyche, of our soul, of men specifically, while the animus is the male psyche, the male soul in a woman, in a female. So as you can see, we have contrasexual souls. The manliest man is going to have a female soul, the anima, and the womanliest woman, or the most feminine women, are going to have a male soul, the animus. And this is where it gets very, very sticky, because the anima and the animus are within us, right? It is the divine union within our soul. And there's going to be projection. What is projection? Projection is when, let's say, we have, us men, we have an idealized image of the feminine, right? Of women. And we fantasize, and we think of like these certain images, the imagery, the symbolism of the feminine. We're attracted to the feminine, a beautiful woman, fantasies, and there's the different archetypes of feminine energy. There's the sexual archetypes of like Marilyn Monroe, and then there's the wise archetypes of Athena, Sophia, etc., etc. There's the Virgin Mary, and so on and so forth. And these are divine energies, okay? They're divine archetypes. They're not real, quote unquote real. So when we have dreams, and I'm a vivid dreamer, I dream of the feminine, of my anima often, and she always has the same qualities. So those qualities of my anima, and most of us suppress the anima because we haven't yet integrated her. We haven't yet like had that relationship. We'll dream of her because we're projecting it on that dream, and we'll project those qualities on a woman. And that's, you're in trouble and I'm in trouble. We're in trouble when the anima in our soul, when the anima in our dreams, our wife in that space, there is a woman we believe who embodies these characteristics, or who has this similar energy. And that's where we can project and believe we have fallen in love with a woman, but really we become anima possessed. And the frustrating part of this possession, I'm not saying everybody is possessed, but I'm saying for the man that has integrated the anima, we're not seeing her as a human. We're seeing her as a projection, as a divine projection, which is very, very dangerous, because one, you're not seeing the human in her, and it doesn't matter how many characteristics it looks like. It doesn't matter how divine she feels like. She is still a woman. She is still a human, and no person can live up to that ideal. And that's where trouble begins, because if we come into a relationship with her, quickly that fantasy is going to dissolve. It's unsustainable, because you're not falling in love with the person, the human. You're falling in love with your own anima, the anima that is not real of her. Although she might represent certain aspects of feminine energy, there's no denying it, she is not your anima. She is not that. On the other hand, to complicate and to sabotage this relationship, because it goes both ways. Women do the same thing, right? Instead of an anima, they have an animus. And the negative animus in a woman is going to sabotage the relationship with man. So the negative animus, think of it of a animus is the father, the masculine figure in her, right? If he is overprotective, if she has a negative relationship with the masculine, with this the animus will pop up. So this will look like, and I'm taking this from Marie-Louise von Franz. I can't pronounce her name, but she's a Jungian, and there's a video I'll link below if you're interested in hearing. I'm literally taking this all from her, but I'm going to add my own little experiences, or at least my own tidbits. I'm not the genius who came up with this, okay? I just like, it's all integrating now. What I will say is that the animus, the negative animus in a woman will sabotage. So the feminine, obviously nature of a woman, femininity, love, she will fall in love with a man, or start to feel love, start to have feelings. The negative animus within her will find a fault in him, like, you know, because that's the logical side, like this and this and this and this is the reason why it must be cut off, or this and this and this, this is why, like, I started a quarrel, you know, and blah blah blah. There's some form of sabotage, and that is the negative animus. So now you see where there's trouble in relationship, right? Because now we have projection on both sides, and we have the man, anima possessed, not seeing her for who she is. And then we have the woman who has a negative animus, also possessed, because a lot of it is unconscious. It's just something that we are doing when we're not aware, who will cut off and sabotage. And you have this this dance, right? And we're not seeing each other for who we are. Now, I don't really have as someone who doesn't have an anima in that way, I mean an animus, I'm going to speak about the anima and how to resolve that, because really what we need to integrate is the feminine within ourselves and create the relationship with the anima within ourselves, so we can stop projecting it onto women and falling in love or catching feelings and then being disappointed and then hurting each other. Real love, real human love, comes from seeing the person, seeing her, the woman, penetrating through the projection and falling in love with her, and vice versa. The woman, I don't really know the exact steps of this for the woman, but it's seeing or witnessing the negative animus and being like, no, you're not gonna, you know, imprison me, you know, father, or whatever. So it's allowing feelings, real love, to transcend the projections, right? So it's tricky business. It's tricky business. It's really like when you are anima possessed as a man, and deeply anima possessed, it's crazy. And it's happened to me a few times. Actually, I would say most of my relationships, it was me not understanding my own anima and its projection, right? So this is tricky business, right? This is a tricky business for both. As for myself, it's lately I've been entering a relationship with my own feminine energy and understanding her within me. And it's you know, I'm not saying I got it. I don't. It's been an exploratory type of relationship. But through that, I feel a lot more whole, a lot more fulfilled. And I imagine it is the same the other way around. there's a scene of Lord of the Rings that I saw yesterday, a clip, and I'm not like a huge Lord of the Rings guy. Like I don't know all the lore or anything like that. I've never read the books. I watched the movies when I was like a kid or a young teen, so it's rusty. But the scene is maybe I'll see if I can edit the clip in. I kind of doubt because copyright and stuff, but I'll see if I can. It's a beautiful scene. Maybe you could YouTube it. Aragorn and Arwen. I don't know, immortality, some keyword like that. But basically, the scene goes like this. It's really intimate, really, like you could feel the tension and the love. So Arwen and Aragorn, obviously, they love each other. Arwen is an elf, and Aragorn is a human. And this is like forbidden love, right? Arwen says that she will give up her immortality to be with him. And he's like, are you sure? Like basically, are you sure? Or he doesn't say it like that. It's so much more poetic and romantic than the way I'm explaining it. They're looking at each other in their eyes intensely, and he's like, you know, she gives him this necklace, and I suppose it represents like, I'm giving you my heart and this immortality, basically, because I guess she's immortal and he's not. He's immortal. To be together, she has to give that up. She has to give up her gift of you know, immortality. And he's like, you know what this means, right? But her love for him transcends that. Like, she does not care, and you could tell she does it with conviction. Give him that necklace, and he accepts it. And it's like this huge romantic scene, and I'm like, wow. No wonder you know, my expectations of love are unreasonable. No, I'm joking. But like, or everybody, you know, I'm like, you write a scene like that and you're like, man, she gave up immortality for him, right? And I thought that was such an interesting scene. I'm like, usually, you know, like in it's kind of the inverse of the Adam and Eve. She is giving up her immortality, because in Eden, right, they're pretty much immortal. Everything is good, and then Eve eats from the what is it called, the tree of good and evil, or the tree of knowledge, I forgot. But then they give up their immortality, you could say. But here, it's, you know, in a way, like it's related. I see there's a relationship there. I haven't explored that yet, so I can't say it right now. I'm still like digesting it. But basically, to me, it's kind of like I'm giving up, and it goes both ways, not just her, but I'm giving up the divine. You know, I'm giving up the idea of this divine, because Anima and Animus are representations of divine energy. They are divine energy, I should say. They are unattainable. You know, they are, we can connect to it and be conductors of that. But, you know, it's like a nuclear reactor core of energy. And the human body can only take so much of that without possession or complete, you know, just obliteration, you can say. So to me, I was like, wow, that's there. She is giving up this idea, or this immortality, right? This divine thing, for something human, yet anchoring in a love which is transcending all of that. And obviously, it you know, it's not just on her, but like, that is it. You know, we must do the work to see the human and love, true love, for that human, for everything that they are. And I'm experiencing that, you know, with my relationships. And I'm not saying romantic love, just love in general. Like, yeah, there's certain things that drive me crazy about certain people, or like, you know, I see their shadows or flaws and stuff, but I was like, I just want to feel love. You know, yeah, I get irritated, or there's something here and there, but I love you so much that it's okay. But basically, by feeding love into it, you start to see like the true essence of people come out. Not saying that I'm like saving them, but rather when I'm fed love, it like anchors me to something. I'm like, oh, like that's you know, this or that, like anima possession. And Marie Louise talks about that, like, you know, when a woman's animus comes online to, you know, protective mode, and the man here, the man in question, he loves her through it, like genuine real love, it like dissolves the animus, you know, the possession, the negative aspect of the animus, you could say. And I'm like, that's basically it, you know. It's just, it goes both ways, you know. Love is it's like dissolving what is false in ourselves and in others, and somehow like we become better overall. Anyway, that's something I had to say. Especially, you know, love is tricky business. I'm not saying I'm an expert at that. These are things that I'm like experiencing, but also learning. And thankfully there's others, you know, like Jung and all these different people that talk about it from these perspectives, and it helps me understand. And I hope that can help you understand, because we're not, for the most part, we're not seeing each other for who we are. We're not ideals. We're not like these projections. We are human, but we want to anchor in love that does transcend it all. And that's it, like feeding it to ourselves and others. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you enjoy videos like this, I invite you to subscribe. And if you have any advice or any thoughts about what that you know, anima, or you disagree, or maybe, I don't know, whatever you want to say, go ahead and comment below. It'd be pretty cool to see what people have to say. And I will catch you in the next video.